My name is Aharon Brown. I'm 29 years old. I currently reside in a community called Forest Park, Ohio, about 20 minutes outside of Cincinnati, Ohio, and I have the pleasure of serving on Forest Park City Council. I also am a planner by trade, so I have a master's degree from the University of Cincinnati in urban planning. I guess what started me on this path to work as a planner and run for public office was upon graduation. I realized the traditional planning route of maybe working for a firm or working in the city planning department really wasn't for me. So I kind of took to advocacy planning. I took a job as a housing analyst intern for a local community development corporation studying housing access and affordability. And it was during this time that we were studying the effects of the 2008 foreclosure crisis on smaller communities, in particular in the suburbs. And I realized that a lot of areas, including Forest Park, had not recovered to the same degree after so many years. So it was then that I began to think urban planners are the ones who have the solutions on combating blight and vacancy and bringing these buildings back into productive use so people can use them as homes. However, it was city governments that had the final say on these decisions. So taking the knowledge that I had about the particular issue and wanting to work to resolve that, that's what made me decide that I was going to run for office and work on this particular issue. So currently, council is on recess. However, prior to going on recess, we were working on procuring additional city funding for businesses that have been impacted by COVID-19. And also we were looking into an eviction mediation program to keep people in their homes so they don't have to worry about being evicted during a pandemic. There have been a few high points. So I initially ran on the housing issue. So we did pass an ordinance that is a property registration to make sure that a homeowner or someone who is renting out homes, they may live in another community, have to register and make sure that they cut the grass and maintain the aesthetic of that home and make sure it doesn't fall into a blighted condition. And also, we were able to approve a developer coming in and making 15 new homes. They are zoned single family, but it's because of that deal that we are now looking at a new multifamily or multi-unit development in Forest Park. So I'm really proud of that. And we also have procured a bit more funds for local grocery stores to improve the aesthetic of their business. And after a few incidents involving Airbnb, it originally was not allowed in the community. However, we have now passed an ordinance that allow people to register their home if they're going to use it for Airbnb. And I was a part of leading that charge. So there are a few challenges that come along with this. Initially, because of my age, I didn't have much experience, so I was thinking that I wouldn't be the right person. So there was a challenge there, overcoming that self-doubt. However, if you stick through it, and if you want to build a community because you have knowledge as an architect or a planner, you know what's best to make a community habitable, to make it vibrant and thriving. And I really feel that urban planners and architects should consider being that final decision maker and using that knowledge to make the community as best as it could be. So I would encourage most architects and most urban planners especially to consider running for public office, whether it's transportation, food access, housing affordability. You have the knowledge and you have the skill set to make a community thrive. And however, there is a caveat. In the political realm, a lot of people run for a particular office because they have another office in mind. And I don't follow that ideology. I feel like if you wanted to run for an office, you need to run it for that office and do the best you can at that level. Because if you're thinking about the next office, that might prevent you from taking those bold, dynamic steps to make that particular office succeed. You might be thinking about the next office and how your decisions now would affect you from getting that. And that's not something that I would particularly subscribe to. But considering we think about community, the nature of community and the built environment, architects and urban planners really have the tools and ideas about how to keep communities going and thriving and making them appealing for generations to come. So when we think about the built environment, a lot of time we do think about the structure and the layout of roads and how things are supposed to look. However, the question we always have to ask is, who are we building this community for? And that answer is always for people. So what makes a community vibrant? What makes it thrive? Those are the things that urban planners and architects already think about on the daily, but that's also what local governments think about. What do constituents want? What do residents need in order to procure resources so they can thrive in the community? And because we have that knowledge base and we're already working towards that goal, I feel that architects and urban planners really are eminently qualified to run for office and win, and also bring about the change in their community that they want to see, whether working for a firm or for a nonprofit, but really to make the community as best as it can for everyone, so they can equally have opportunity and access to everything that that city has to offer. So I would encourage everyone to constantly think about the question, who are we building for, and what does community mean? But we know it's always building it for people, and community is really making sure that that environment doesn't hinder a particular demographic of people from succeeding as much as possible. So I would greatly encourage architects and urban planners to consider running for office in the future. Thank you.